William Ruto is moving strategically to clip the wings of Rigathi Gachagua. I'm reading an article which is actually the headline of the Star newspaper today. And because much people read the Star, I can clearly tell that the move is strategic, aimed at clipping the wings of Rigathi Gachagua. And I want to ask you to stay a bit so that you can understand why. The article says, let me just get it. Mudavadi to occupy Ruto's former office. Deputy President Gachagua will take over 2 floors in office of the president along Harambee Avenue. That move appears innocent, but in due time, you will all come to agree that it is aimed at clipping the wings of Rigathi Gachagua. For you to understand that, let us go back a bit. In 2013, when President Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto were elected president and deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, William Ruto moved very quickly to occupy Harambee House Annex. That office previously was the office of the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. For those who remember the history of this country, between 2007 and 2013, Raila Odinga was the Prime Minister of the Republic of Kenya. Kibaki was the president. And the government was actually shared. So which means the most powerful office in the Republic at that time was the office of the president, where Mwai Kibaki was. Then the second most powerful office was the office of the Prime Minister, where Raila Odinga was. And that's why when Uhuru and Ruto became president under new constitution, instead of going to work under William Ruto and Harambee House, office of the president, he opted to choose Harambee House Annex. In fact, one of the main reasons why William Ruto ended up being a very powerful individual was because he chose the Harambee House Annex as his office. If William Ruto was keen on having Rigathi Gachagua as a powerful deputy president, he ought to have assigned that office to Rigathi Gachagua. William Ruto is a very lucky man because he served as the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya for 10 good years. And during those 10 good years, he enjoyed both the good and the bad of the office. In his first term, he enjoyed full support of the president and everything moved smoothly. In the second term, he never enjoyed that because of the handshake. So in this video, I want to explain to you guys why personally, I strongly believe that William Ruto is moving strategically to clip the wings of Rigathi Gachagua. Before we do that, in case you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two, click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without the support, this channel cannot be where it is now. Let us get to the main business, and please don't forget to press that subscribe button. Now, why do I strongly believe that William Ruto is clipping the wings of Rigathi Gachagua? Number one is the move to give the office of the former deputy president, which is Harambee House Annex, to Mudavadi. That office, just like I explained earlier, is symbolic. That it is the second most powerful office in this country. Rigathi Gachagua will occupy 2 floors of Harambee House, the office of the president. If you compare to what Mudavadi is being given this other side, then you'll understand. Although let us just agree that our constitution of the Republic of Kenya ought to have specified the roles of the deputy president. The deputy presidents in this country are actually working at the mercy of the president. If the president are in good terms, then they can enjoy that office, just like the deputy governors. So the fact that Mudavadi has been given this office means that even the deputy president is intending to elevate Musalia Mudavadi. So that's the first thing I'm reading from that. Number two, Musalia Mudavadi, as the prime minister in quotes, remember when Uhuru Kenyatta made Matiang'i the prime minister in quote, super CS, he became more powerful than William Ruto. Why? Because if you look at the role Musalia Mudavadi will be playing, Musalia Mudavadi will be overseeing all cabinet secretaries. In our country, we are supposed to have between 14 and 21 cabinet secretaries. So they are intending to engineer change of the constitution or an act in parliament, which will assign roles to Musalia Mudavadi. So Musalia Mudavadi will oversee cabinet secretaries. He will oversee several permanent secretaries. According to executive order, which I'm told the deputy president signed, Rigathi Gachagua will be assigned some functions. Remember, the role constitutionally of a deputy president of the Republic of Kenya is to become the principal assistant to the president. So if the president assigns him something. But constitutionally, Rigathi Gachagua will take up the role of chairing the IBEC. For those who remember, IBEC is the Intergovernmental Budget and Economic Council. And in William Ruto's second term, he had problems because even some governors used to boycott that event. So, Gachagua will not take any other cabinet position. But in the first term or in the first year or two, if they'll be working very closely, he will enjoy the office. But if they won't work very closely, I don't think Rigathi Gachagua will have work. So Musalia Mudavadi being the cabinet, cabinet is the main thing. As long as Musalia Mudavadi will oversee all the cabinet ministers, or as long as all the cabinet ministers will be reporting to Mudavadi, then Mudavadi reporting to Ruto, because I don't think Musalia Mudavadi will be reporting to Rigathi Gachagua, then on paper, Rigathi might be the second in command, but Mudavadi will be the most powerful. Number three, if you ask me, there is this proposal which William Ruto is making, that the cabinet will be answerable to parliament, that they are going to change the standing orders, and of course they've assigned speakers of both houses, that is Moses Wetangula and Amason Kingi, to look at the standing orders, so that Musalia Mudavadi, as the chief prime minister, will be answering questions in parliament every week. So which means every week, Musalia Mudavadi will be standing in parliament to answer questions. I don't know where Rigathi Gachagua will be, but that, in my view, will give Musalia Mudavadi the needed political exposure which comes with that particular role. So if you ask me strategically, William Ruto understands one thing, that the Kikuyu nation will feel disappointed in his government because he overpromised them. And because of those overpromises, chances are that he understands that they might change, because he saw how he understands politics. So he's now assigning Mudavadi morals to appeal to the Western Kenya voters. Of course, in the coastal region, he's already given Amason Kingi the Speaker of the Senate, which is currently the highest position being held by a Coastarian. So I'm looking at it from that perspective. And number four, in my view, is the fact that that Rigathi Gachagua will now be housed on the second floor. I mean, I don't know which floor will be that, but on 2 floors of William Ruto's office, he will be monitored. Because you can't just enter into the president's office because you want to see the deputy president. So he will be monitored. Who will be entering that office? Who will he be seeing? Who will be his close associates? Which business partners are coming to see him? he will be monitored, and there's no shortcut about that. Yeah. Remember, William Ruto had Harambee House Annex, and that's how people like Echesa would go with the business investors to negotiate. Yeah. So the truth of the matter is that as long as he will be under the office of the president, Rigathi Gachagua will be monitored every single day. Probably they'll even be taking tea together. Yeah. And lastly, I also tend to think that Rigathi Gachagua will be under direct supervision. The fact that he's in that office, the deputy president will monitor him and supervise him directly. That's my take. I could be wrong, because the other thing I know is that William Ruto suffered under the hands of Uhuru Kenyatta and his key allies. And he made a promise to Kenyans that he would not subject his deputy to such kind of humiliation, such kind of harassment, and such kind of shame. So let us wait and see. Maybe William Ruto will now decide to assign Rigathi Gachagua specific roles, which are not in the constitution, but being the principal assistant, the constitution states that as assigned by the president. So let us wait and see. We could be wrong. Thank you guys, and please may you have a good day. Bye-bye.